We're at the Mid-America Truck Show. A lot of great activity going on, and always cool stuff. Catching up with people that we've not seen in a while, catching up with new people that are coming into the industry. A lot of questions, a lot of fun stuff, a lot of great activity. And great to have on the radio with us. I've got Greer Woodruff, who is going to be joining us now, but it's 30 minutes on the show. And he's a veteran of the industry who's mentioning he's been traveling around to the central part of the United States, visiting shops and talking with people. He is the Executive Vice President of Safety, Sustainability, and Maintenance, sir, and no rest for the weary. It's good to see you again.
Hey, you too, Mark. Always glad to be on with you.
I appreciate it, sir. Now, you are the Executive VP of Safety, Sustainability, and Maintenance. And in fact, you've taken over that role in sustainability from Craig Harper, legend in the industry. And as a matter of fact, I got a call from Craig Harper on the air. This was about 2 weeks ago. So good to have him talking and, still being involved in the trucking industry. And you've taken over that role, right? Talk about that. What are you going to be overseeing?
Yeah, of course, I've had safety, security, and driver personnel for the majority of my career. I've worked for Craig for 27 years, and he's been a great boss, mentor, and friend. And when he retired at the first of the year, I took over fuel and sustainability from him, and then also picked up the maintenance organization from Nick Hobbs, who's our COO. And so, as you mentioned, I've been traveling around meeting with all of our maintenance people. There's 2,300 people in that org, and 64 shops.
That's a lot.
I've been to 5 of our 6 regions and 25 or so of the shops so far, and getting to know the work that's being done there and the great people. So,
it's amazing when you get right down to it. You get out on the shop floor, and you talk about what's going on in the industry, and you talk to those that are doing the diagnostics, those that are putting the tools on. They're putting the trucks on the rack. They still do that. And you find that what is one of the most important things when you talk to those folks in the shop is safety, right? Safety and sustainability.
Absolutely. I mean, they're supporting our business and they're supporting our drivers. Those are really who their customers are, keeping the trucks running on the road so that we can deliver value to our customers, but also obviously having those in good mechanical condition so our drivers, don't have the risk of a mechanical failure.
When you talk about the dedication level of those that are in the shop, it's incredible because they know the mission, they know the role, they want the technology, and once they get their hands on it, man, it's full steam ahead. Let's get this truck out there, let's get it going. It's key to the job, right?
That's right.
Less downtime.
There's a lot of diagnostic work that goes on of trying to figure out what needs to be done, and there's a lot of new safety technologies and things that they have had to learn over the years. But they really take it very seriously and getting the truck in and out as quickly as they can and doing the work where that truck doesn't have to show back up again. And we've got people that are new to the company in those roles, and we've got people who have recently retired with 40 years.
Wow.
Working for JB Hunt Maintenance Department.
Yeah, that's amazing. Probably the ones that were there 40 years probably had their own tools, would bring their own wrenches. And
most of them do. Most of the mechanics have their own tools, and they just like to have their own stuff.
Absolutely.
And so that's common.
Talk about what's going on with women in trucking. The honorees. This is going to be exciting.
We've got Jody Edwards actually here in the audience here.
There's Jody.
Jody's a JB Hunt driver, been with us 24 years, 2 million mile safe driver, and she was recently honored as the driver of the year for her region, and now has been nominated as the driver of the year for women in trucking. There's 3 ladies that are kind of finalists for that, and Jody's one of them, and we're real proud of her. I believe they'll announce that here at Matt's tomorrow.
Yes.
And so we wish her the best of luck.
I would imagine Jody's a great ambassador for bringing people into the industry. Correct in that. I mean, when you look at all of the hard work that she's put into being out there on the road, the dedication to safety, to people, she's got to be an incredible ambassador for bringing people in, correct?
I believe she is. She's been working with the Image Committee of Women in Trucking and, of course, representing JB Hunt everywhere that she goes. And we all know that we've had more and more women come into various roles within the industry. Ran into several that were technicians for us in the maintenance department, and we need more. This industry is very welcoming to women, and we need more women to join us.
Who is Carmen Anderson?
She is Carmen and Deb LeBrier is two of the other candidates that are nominated along with Jody, and so we wish all three of them luck.
Oh, and absolutely. There's so many different things on your radar screen that you've got to follow with safety and security and things like that. And one of the big stories that we've been seeing a lot of lately involves cargo theft. And cargo theft, those numbers keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I know FBI investigates, Homeland Security investigates. What are you seeing as far as maybe the sheer volume? Are you seeing unprecedented cargo theft these days?
Yeah, we are seeing a lot of increase. I mean, really in the last few years, over 300% increase, and really the tactics that the thieves are using have changed. We're all familiar with kind of stealing a load on the road, a full truckload where a truck or a trailer was left unattended, and that's been common. What we're seeing now is more fraudulent activity where they use fraudulent information to trick a shipper or a carrier or a broker into providing information that allows them to then go take possession of the load. And oftentimes they're using legitimate carriers to pull off their theft and do the work for them. In those cases, the carriers aren't going to get paid. They have done the work.
They're out of luck. Zero.
They're out of luck.
Oh, my.
Those folks will disappear along with the load.
Well, and when you look at it from the importance of education with all of this, so important to make sure that everybody is in tune with this, all the way from those in the C-suite, all the way down to those in the shop and those that are out there on the road. There are so many different things that need to be done here, and it's simply just not the high-value loads, the high-dollar loads. Are the thieves going after pretty much anything they can get their hands on?
Well, yeah, what we're seeing is things that they can move quickly. So what we're seeing is food and beverage is kind of the most common thing that's stolen right now, household goods, and then, of course, electronics.
Yeah, then those things, my golly, we're talking about millions of dollars here. I mean, if you get, say, a load of big screen TVs can run into $1,000, obviously. Yeah. Then when you're looking at maybe things like pharmaceuticals or maybe groceries or food items, I mean, we're talking about a substantial loss to the American economy overall, right?
That's right.
Everybody.
Some of these loads can be $200,000-$300,000 or more. So there's a lot of loss going on within the industry, and it's something we need to really try to get our arms around.
Absolutely. These numbers I'm reading, reported cargo theft incidents up almost 60% in 2023 from 2022, 376% increase in fictitious pickups in 2023. 576 incidents versus 121 incidents in 2022. How are the bad guys staying ahead of this? How are they keeping us catching up?
Yeah,
what are they doing?
Well, they're using IP addresses from out of the country. They're coming on to and taking advantage of digital freight brokering. They are very good at social engineering and convincing people to give them information. We're seeing them take identities of carriers where they will pose as a carrier. We're seeing them take on identities of brokers when they're not. And so we're seeing a lot of, fraud and just manipulative ways that they're doing these things. And they're changing all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I would imagine it's like when they change hour to hour. FMCSA, I know, is looking into this. They've got some investigative panels that are trying to wrap their arms around the magnitude of this problem. Do you think it's a situation we just don't know how big this is?
I think it is a big thing. A lot of companies don't report into like cargo nets or centralized databases. So
Why is that?
I don't know. Some people may not want potential customers or other people to know that they have a problem, so they may kind of keep it to themselves, and so it's very much underreported.
Well, and this is where you guys have stepped up. I mean, you've stepped up to lead the way with new information, tracking, technology that is out there that's being invested to try to mitigate these concerns overall. And I would imagine that drivers are really embracing this kind of technology. They want to know what's going on. They want to know what technology is helping to maybe solve this. Do you get a lot of questions about cargo theft? from your drivers?
We do. We try to keep them educated. You know, there's some of this creates a little bit of an inconvenience to try to harden your systems a little bit. So we've recently introduced multi-factor authentication to our drivers. We're all used to doing that maybe with banking or other types of things we do, and we're having to do that now internally for drivers that have access into our systems to protect ourselves from cyber security risks. We're going to be introducing that on our with our carriers here in the coming months to try to harden our systems when carriers are doing business with us, to make sure they don't become victims of a strategic cargo theft.
My golly. And yeah, you think about all the ways that the systems are being put in place, dedication to technology, more manpower being added, more software, hardware, infrastructure. Yeah, this seems like it's a perpetual problem. That cargo theft is going on. It's a real thing. And that's why it's a collaborative effort across multiple bridges, if you will, like folks like yourself and law enforcement working to try to solve it. We'll get them at some point, but we still have a way to go, right?
Yeah.
All right. This year, or 2023 rather, was a record year for J.B. Hunt when it comes to safety. And let's talk about that. I mean, we often talk about the technology, what it does, et cetera, et cetera. But when you look at what the drivers have done for the company out there, a 25% reduction in DOT preventables per million miles driven, that's got to be a very proud number.
Absolutely. All of our people work really hard at having a safety culture that supports the drivers. Obviously, the drivers behind the wheel are the biggest part of that. And we're really proud. That's a big reduction in 1 year. And we're proud of what they've done. Safety's really important to our company, and we work on it every day, and our drivers deliver the results.
Well, and delivering the results is amazing, because when you think about it, delivering those kind of results means that there have been a number of pay package increases over the course of the years that go along with it, and that's another great draw. Right?
That's right. You know, I kind of talk about the pay package that we did in 1996, which is really what started our safety culture. We gave a 33% pay increase back then, and we were wringing our hands trying to determine how we were going to pay for that. And we were going to pay for it through reduced accidents. And so we put that in place. We hired experienced drivers. We shut down our truck driving schools, and we saw a 50% reduction in DOT preventable crashes. And that funded the majority of the driver pay increase that we did. So we took a big chance, and it paid off for us, and that's really been the foundation now that we've continued to build our safety culture upon over all the years.
And looking at safety, it's a lot more than simply saying, okay, our numbers are going up or down, or whatever the case may be. But there are things like hair testing, as an example. You really get to find out what a driver's doing, where they've been, et cetera. And so that's why the industry undertakes a number of measures to make sure that you've got a safe, qualified, professional driver that is applying with you. Where do you guys see hair testing? Started back, you started in 2006?
2006.
Okay.
And we tested all of our office people, our dispatchers, our executive leadership. We all subjected them to the test before we put drivers through that. But now all the drivers have been hair tested. Any new drivers are tested, and we're just ensuring that there's no lifestyle drug use that can get behind the wheel of the truck. And so those requirements apply to everybody that joins the company.
Well, you know, I've heard some of the stories about hair follicle testing versus urinalysis, which has been the standard for so many years. Do you kind of maybe foresee the day, this is your own personal thoughts, that maybe hair testing will replace urinalysis?
You know, I don't necessarily see it replacing. I'd like to see it be complementary to urine testing.
Hand in hand.
It's probably more appropriate for a pre-employment or a random test. Urine is still most appropriate for a reasonable cause or a post-accident test. But we would like to see FMCSA allow hair testing to be used by a carrier, not a requirement, but an option for a carrier that would like to do that, and that it would meet the DOT requirements. Because right now we have to do both. We have to do the urine test and the hair test, because the hair test does not qualify as a DOT test today.
Okay, good to say. Do you think they may change some point?
I would hope so. The data's there to support it.
Okay.
They are aware of the data, and so we're hopeful that will change at some time in the future.
You know, speaking of the future, one thing I really like to read about and talk to drivers about are those forward-looking cameras and those inward-facing cameras. I know there's a lot of discussion has been in the industry about, I don't want a camera looking at me, or those outward-looking cameras. Yeah, we need those because it will help clear up any questions maybe in a court case. But what kind of feedback do you get? The history of the outward-looking cameras really been a tremendous asset. The inward-looking cameras, where are we with that as well?
Yeah, we implemented the forward-facing cameras in 2016. About 100% of our trucks have the forward-facing, well received by drivers. Of course, we see lots of crazy stuff that people do around our trucks. And we made a decision in April of this last year that we were going to turn on the inward-facing cameras where we could. We did a really good job of change management with our drivers, meeting with them, explaining to them what we were doing, why we were doing it.
Right.
Obviously, there is reservation about that. But we've overcome that. We lost a few drivers, but I would say it wasn't zero, but it wasn't over a handful as a result of that. And now the drivers have embraced it. We've used it to coach and make great drivers better. We've seen it exonerate drivers and the company numerous times. And drivers have just gotten more and more comfortable with it over time to where they don't even realize it's in there anymore. So it's been hugely successful for us. It's part of the reason that we've been able to drive our DOT preventable accidents down. It just gives us a good opportunity to change some behaviors. We all develop bad habits.
Of course.
And we don't even know how bad they really are until
Right.
they get pointed out to us. And so, again, we've made really great drivers even better drivers. We've lowered their risk of being involved in a crash. We've raised the chances that they're going to get back home to their family safety, and it's just been part of our overall culture.
You know what I'm hearing through all this with technology being introduced? What a great retention and recruiting tool using all this, correct? And that if a company is taking these measures to help a driver, help them be safe on the road, that to me is worth its weight in gold in bringing new people in, keeping existing people in place.
Yeah,
right?
I believe the drivers know that we care about them. And safety culture's kind of grown for us. It was kind of the foundation to really just caring about people. Mm-hmm. You can't really care about people unless you care about their safety and their well-being. Mm-hmm. So drivers want to work for a company that cares about them and that cares about their safety. And those are ways in which we're able to demonstrate that.
Million Mile Celebration. Tell me about that.
We've got one coming up April 30th and May 1st. We're going to have our big Walk of Fame, our big celebration over 2 days.
You got celebrities coming as well.
We've got 40 drivers coming. Jody's going to be one of them, recognizing 2 million miles.
Yep.
They walk down the Walk of Fame down 4 stories, a flight of stairs with bands playing and employees lining.
Yeah.
It's like the ticker tape parade for
that.
Somebody who won the World Series. You've been there.
Yes, sir.
Big deal. It's the biggest thing we do as a company every year. Everybody enjoys it and can't wait for the next one.
Absolutely. Sir, thank you very much for a great interview. And it's really, really good to see you. I got to get ready to wrap it up. And let's get all of the social media sites out, websites, phone numbers. Where can folks reach you guys directly? Any closing thoughts for the drivers?
Yeah. So you can reach us if you're interested in a company driving job, drivejbhunt.com. If you're an owner-operator, jbhuntownerops.com. And if you're a carrier and interested in our 360 platform, we've got jbhunt.com/carrier360, or see us in the booth next to SiriusXM.
Beautiful. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Enjoyed seeing you.
Always good to see you. That is Greer Woodruff on with J.B. Hunt. Let's give him a great round of applause.